Darren, so great to have the opportunity to chat with you today. How are you doing, and how have you been holding up for the last 6-7 months?
Well, it's been interesting. It's nice to have. It's sort of really kind of just a great boost to have the show coming out right now, and it's yeah. I mean, I've there's been a little silver lining, getting to spend more time with family and everything, having a little downtime. So
Absolutely.
um, it's been a yeah. It's been a quiet time.
Yeah, that's okay. This series, it was dropped into my preview content queue. I don't know, maybe about a month ago, and I said, okay, I'm gonna watch. Couldn't stop, and of course watched the whole thing in one
Oh,
seating. It is
perfect.
so, first of all, it's beautiful to look at, never mind the story and everything. It is just stunning. Lily is phenomenal. I just so loved it, and you're right, it's something that we really really need right now. So I want to start by asking you, why Paris? Because of course Sex in the City, your beloved New York City, you've gone away
Right.
from that. Why Paris?
I've always had a real affinity for Paris. I was a bit of a French geek as a kid. I took French from like the time I was in elementary school through college. I went there when I was backpacking through Europe when I was like 19, and I just fell in love with the city and been back so many times since,
Yeah.
and always imagined for myself what it would be like to work and live there. And that kind of inspired the idea of this show. Also to give myself the experience of doing it. So it's a bit of a meta thing because I got to fulfill that dream of being able to work and live in Paris by filming there.
Yeah, I was going to ask you because the whole story is about a fish out of water, somebody who goes from, America to go to this country that she's never worked with these people before. How did it feel for you? Did you have that kind of same experience in a
Sure.
way?
I mean, well, I've had that experience many, many times. Every
Yeah,
time I'm there, I feel like it never really changes. You always sort of feel like a fish out of water there
yeah,
as an American, and it
yeah,
makes you feel more American by being there. Um, and I love the idea that you can never, for me as an American, you're never, you'll never be Parisian, you'll never be French,
yeah.
but you can still appreciate and enjoy the culture. And I kind of wanted to sort of like celebrate and poke fun at the cultural differences.
Absolutely, yeah, and then of course Lily. Oh my God,
Yeah,
she
she's
couldn't be. Like, you couldn't have chosen anyone better. She
perfect.
suits this role so perfectly. I call this like her Audrey Hepburn
Right.
moment. Honestly, she's just
Yeah.
lovely to look at. She's fun to watch. When you were writing the series, did you have her in mind?
I didn't have her in mind, and in fact, she was the first person I met when I started casting, and um, I just thought she was fantastic, and then had many subsequent meetings with her and got to know
Hmm.
her, and just thought, yeah, I also want to be inspired by the star of the show, and feel like that that they're going to inspire me as an actress, and just in terms of who they are. And I
Hmm.
just felt like she was so smart, so lovely. And so uh, I just knew that she would bring so much, also just kind of like warmth to the character, which she
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wanted to ask you, like, once they started to shoot the series and you saw her in action, what kind of surprised you about her?
I think what surprised me in a really great way was her sense of toughness,
Mm.
because that I hadn't seen before. Just sort of like I really wanted that for the character, and just her that she is like her she's so resilient, and um, also just how funny she is. She understood where all the humor was, all the comedy, and she made little moments just delightful. And she just continued to find nuances in the character, and heighten moments that were funny. She made them funnier, and she just like knocked it out of the park as far as I'm concerned. And to me, the show is like a big romantic comedy on steroids, and
Yeah.
I wanted like a romantic comedy leading lady, and she just kind of like just completely delivered.
And what I love about the character is that she's very relatable. There's no question about it. She perseveres. Like, nothing gets her down. She has these
Right.
meanies in the office that she's working with, but she just doesn't let it get her down. Like she just keeps going at it. And I think that she's going to be very inspiring to a lot of young girls out there.
Yes, she has. I mean, she's got a lot of self-confidence, and it's not that she doesn't have moments where she feels a little low, but I think
Sure.
she just is like she's just kind of undaunted, and
Yeah.
she's there. She has like a mission. She's there for a reason, and I think that was important for me to send character to Paris for a reason. It wasn't her dream to be in Paris. It was her dream to sort of like. I mean, she's there to like kind of for like a work reason, and I think
Yeah.
career is what she had in mind when she was going there.
Oh, absolutely. No, and there's no question about it. But you always find love in Paris, right?
Right. Can't help it.
You keep,
Can't help
yeah,
it.
she can't help
Right.
it. She
Right.
finds a few. She
Right.
finds a few
Yeah.
loves there.
Right.
Yeah, and the actor that you chose, the one that they really enjoyed, he's fantastic too. Where did we find him?
You know, I saw him initially on tape, and then I met him when I went to Paris. And I met him a couple times, and I just thought he had not had. This is really his first major role, so I was a
Yeah,
little nervous. But when I saw he and Lily Reed together, I just thought, well,
you
it,
know,
chemistry's there. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. What and also what's great, listen, Sex in the City was my thing. There's no question about it. But they were a little older. The ladies were a little bit older, and they appealed to somebody, my age at the time when I grew up with them, obviously. But this is lovely because she's a younger girl. She's somebody who's starting off in her career in her
Right.
20s and stuff. I like that you did that. That was obviously something very intentional that you're thinking.
I wanted a character that it would be a real fresh experience for her, that she hadn't left the country, that she hadn't traveled. And so, and it's fun for me to step in the shoes and see the world that way again, and remember what it was like to sort of be young and be in Paris for the first time, because I think that is that sense of excitement. And also, I think you've got to have like a little, you've got to be a little bit young to sort of like experiencing all these things for the first time. And I
Yeah.
think something I wanted to, to for this character is to be, part of her journey, that she was leaving her comfort zone for the first time.
Yeah, I have to wrap, but I really quickly want to ask you, how do
Sure.
you know women so well?
I just think of them like people, and I love women, and I just think that I love writing female characters because we're just so expressive and funny and vulnerable, and I really I just enjoy writing them.
Well, you do a great job at it. Keep up the great
Thank
work. This is such a
Thanks, honey.
fantastic series, and I'm just a big fan of all of your stuff. Younger, I mean, all of it. It's so, so good. So thank
Thanks,
you for taking the time
thanks,
to
honey.
talk to me
Appreciate
today,
it. Okay,
Darren, and
great
we'll
talking to
see
you.
you soon.
Okay, take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye.
Bye.